Like the girls that rejected me in high school, college, and life in general, a lot of writers want the tragic bad boy as their main story character. It doesn't matter if it's wish fulfillment, art therapy, or just playing hard to get, the want to create and experience anti heroes or tragic heroes isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But where does this leave you, my vicarious writing recluse? How do you create an anti hero, a lovable monster, a character that changes but not for the better? How do you make an imaginary person that's cold, calculated, intense, and all of the other things that nobody wrote about you in your high school yearbook? Well, never you worry about that, all my friends at the singles table, because today we're going over 3 ways of writing tragic heroes. To do this, we'll be looking at everyone's favorite little boy turned master of unliving people, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, there's no way this guy watches anime and gets rejected by the ladies. He sounds smooth as hell. And you'd be right. But what's important is that I got you to relate to me right off the bat, which brings us to step number 1. Get me to like and sympathize with your hero, but that goes for any hero in any kind of story. So let's be a little more specific and say, get me to unknowingly agree to your hero's ultimate evil. Let's unpack this puppy. Your main character still needs to resonate with your audience, whether they're an evil superhuman gangster or grand champion of making people not alive anymore. With Eren, before we learn that he clears away 80% of the world population for the greatest property grab since Blackrock, before we learn he gets back at his mom for telling him not to join the Survey Corps, before we find out every single person that didn't make it through the series was basically Eren's idea, before any of that, we see him as a slightly unhinged 10-year-old. Not this, but this. Eren's character starts out relatively low on the crazyometer, and in a lot of ways, his crazy is admirable. Sure, he's mad at the guards for being drunk on the job, but it's because the threat of Titans in his mind is very real. Yeah, he picks a fight with a grown man who doesn't like the way his taxes are being spent, but it's out of respect for the Survey Corps. Yes, he tries to fight 3 bullies by himself, but it's to protect his friend. Almost immediately, we are shown that Eren teeters somewhere on the spectrum from too stupid for his own safety to crazy enough to be a danger to small animals and to old people on life support. In all 3 cases, we are shown that he has violent tendencies, but they are all in response to protect the things he cares about. This endears us to Eren because maybe he is an idiot, but he's an idiot with a heart of gold. Maybe he is a little aggressive, but it's not murderous levels of aggression. You want your audience to think, I agree with this young man's ideology, and I feel like I'd support a lot of his ideas on justice. Right? Oh ho ho, audience member number 1, how wrong you are. At this stage of the story, we don't know what's coming down the pipe, so we sign on for Eren as our good boy, sympathizing with him after the loss of his mother, rooting for him as he pursues his dreams of becoming Spider-Man, and going to therapy when he gets eaten alive. Once you establish this emotional contract with your audience, they're locked in at $10 a month for the first year, and you have plenty of time to skillfully destroy everything they know and love before their rate triples and there's nothing they can do about it. Think of yourself as a used car salesman. Sure, you know the airbags were replaced with beach balls and the seatbelt lock mechanism only works half the time, but boy, will the new car owners be surprised when they find out. You have effectively laid the groundwork for a change of character that your audience doesn't recognize yet. Now it's time to channel those vicarious powers and get revenge for a lifetime of rejection and implement step 2. Break your audience's heart first, then break your character's heart completely. Just like getting dumped the night before prom, it's best to have your dreams fully crushed to pieces rather than holding out hope for things to get better. As a storyteller, you need to completely break a hero to near insanity. Hysteria is a good stopping point. But Andrews, you say, Eren's mother gets nom-nom-nommed in episode 1. How can it possibly get any worse for him? Well, you clearly haven't watched the show, because while Carla's death is maybe one of the eggs in the batter of Eren's devil cake, it definitely isn't what sends him completely over the edge. Carla dies to make our viewer feel bad for Eren, to break our hearts for this poor unhinged 10-year-old, and to understand his rage and drive while wanting to kill anything more than 7 feet tall, which gets us through most of Season 1. At this stage of the story, Eren is ready to kill every Titan for what happened to his mother, and because we as viewers are also devastated, we're right there with him. Moving forward through Season 1, Eren makes a choice that gets a lot of people killed. This makes my therapist very happy because it further breaks me, the viewer, down, and it also adds another spritz of paint thinner to Eren's crazy fire. I am more on board with Eren's desire to kill the Titans because I am further heartbroken with him. Eren is also wounded, which causes him to question the cost of his own inaction. He wonders how many people are going to die if he doesn't make the right choice and take immediate action. Meanwhile, I sob on the couch and decide that, no matter what Eren does, it is justified after what he has been through. Cue the ominous music. This takes Eren from too stupid for his own safety to too stupid for the safety of others, or what I like to call college undergrad level. But wait, there's more. Eren ends up getting the members of the Survey Corps killed not once, not twice, but 3 times. And while some of you mentally strong individuals might think,
But Andrews, none of those Titan picnics were technically Eren's fault.
that's not how Eren views it. Like, literally, he is handless. Handless. And he blames himself for the second destruction of the Survey Corps. All that blood is on his stubby arms, and we as viewers are choking back tears at how horribly bleak all of this is, understanding that we get a mental break in between episodes, but Eren is in a non-stop living hell. While we don't realize it as viewers, we are digging ourselves into a hole by investing in Eren's eventual revenge. The further he is hurt, the sorrier we feel for him, and the more we are willing to permit his ensuing reaction against the people who made his life miserable. By the time Eren makes it to his father's basement and learns what parody really is, we are behind him 100% no matter what he decides to do.
But really, I mean, how bad could it get?
Anyway, when Eren kisses Historia's hand and gets slapped in the face with a plot twist, he realizes he's been the prick all along. Not only is this why I have never kissed a woman's hand, but it's also what obliterates Eren's moral compass and sends him to the upper right corner of our alignment chart. This is the final nail in Eren's coffin, the push that sends him over the edge. Unfortunately for us as viewers, we're so damn invested in Eren's story that we are willing to go over the edge with him. This is why you must emotionally destroy your audience before you break your evil hero. We feel so sorry for Eren that we're pretty much on board with depopulating the world's capital, and we all know it's a slippery slope from leveling an entire town to putting on the baby-tossing mitts as half the world marches off a cliff. If you set up this reveal properly and time your audience and hero's breaking points correctly, you can now move on to step 3, take off your hero's gloves and show the audience what they're really made of. Think of this as dating 101. Lure in your audience with stories of Eren's struggles and promises of his possible happiness, then reveal the ugly truth once they get out of the Uber and it drives away, because it's too late to turn back now. The audience invests in Eren's story and his happiness during the first 3 quarters of the story, while the storytellers are preparing a devastating betrayal of that trust during the final quarter. Listen to me. Betray the people who trust you. This is what good writing is all about, and believe me when I say it feels just as good for your audience as it does for you, because deep down we all tune into a good story to be tricked, lied to, and manipulated. It's like marriage if divorce court were fun. After 3 seasons of rooting for Eren, we're in too deep. We are adamantly on his side for better or worse, and we are unwillingly on board for a genocide. This is exactly where you want your audience when you fully flip your hero's people popper switch, because it is the only way that the average person is going to root for something like The Rumbling. If you are going for dark subject matter, like blindfolded in a steel box and buried 10 feet underground on a planet without a star dark, you are going to have to get your audience deeply invested in your evil character. Based on absolutely nothing besides my opinion, the amount of therapy I'm willing to go to for a story is directly proportional to the amount you tricked me into caring about your evil protagonist. Kratos, Joel Miller, Arthur Fleck all get away with literal murder in my book because I suffered with them before they ever had the chance for revenge. Eren Yeager gets away with destroying an entire town before I'm like, okay buddy, good enough, I think you proved your point. And it's your call as the storyteller how far you want to drag me through the mud afterwards. Attack on Titan goes far enough that you really are hoping someone stops Eren by story's end, but you can just as easily stop here on the alignment chart and still send a strong message. Whatever you choose to do, the same 3 steps apply. Get me to initially agree with a watered-down version of your protagonist's evil scheme. It's like a gateway drug for more disappointment as we move into step 2, breaking down your audience before breaking down your hero completely so that revenge feels justified. That allows you to slip smoothly into unliving 80% of the world in step 3, where you fully unleash your protagonist's inner evil. And just like that, you've got your first date. I mean, solid steps for your evil protagonist. Now, go to your writing room, hide away from the rest of the world, and make me proud. Keep writing. The end.